Sean here with BaseMint Comics, and it is the weekend. It's that weird time between Christmas and New Year's where the three of us basically live in pajamas all week, and here, that's this cup for today. Which Hank and I have matching shirts because it's the X-Men gang riding a bicycle. It's awesome. Normally, I'd be doing a Corner Box Classics, but the holiday has thrown everything off. I was cramming a bunch of Christmas issues, and there was loads of holiday stuff that we were doing. And so I am behind on that. I don't know, there's no one's timing me on how I read my comic books, so I'm not really behind. So what I was going to do in this issue was talk about last week's books. Normally I save that for the Wednesday issue, but I've read all of them, and I'm here, and then I was going to show off some Christmas stuff, comic book related Christmas things that I got. Wearing the last of it's an X-Men Christmas shirt that was not a gift this year. That was a gift years and years ago from my lovely wife. So there we have it. And, that's where we're at. Took a spill on the bike yesterday because we were riding on some ice. So I can drop that right here. Looking forward to the ride on Wednesday, but we got like a ton of rain today, and then it's supposed to all freeze and turn into snow. So Wednesday's ride to the comic book store should be interesting. But hey, the good news is that Wednesday's ride is to, I think there's only one, possibly two comics that I'm getting that day. But I'm looking forward to it because it's the Age of Revelation finale. And man, am I excited to be closing out that one. Anyways, comics that I read. The Marvel Winter Break special, I talked about this, how I was reluctantly wound up picking the summer one off the shelf because it was actually a story, and so I was looking forward to this one because, hey, it's a holiday thing, and it's a little weird Savage Land story, and it was okay, not as good as the summer one, I felt. So, not necessarily something I'm going to be reading a ton of throughout the years. What I did enjoy immensely was The Will of Doom #1, and this did kind of make me feel like I might need to go back and read the Red Hulk issues of One World Under Doom when that comes out in a trade. But obviously this deals with some of the fallout of Dr. Doom no longer being around and leaving everything to Valeria, which is incredibly interesting and sets up some really great stuff. Final page reveal is very interesting and sets up some interesting things in Fantastic Four and the Marvel Universe to come this year. Amazing Spider-Man #982. I don't like the cover, but I did like what was on the inside of this issue. At least the main story, which is Jameson and Osborn. Osborn basically shows up dressed as Spider-Man, and so now Jameson knows that he's the one that's running around in the suit, but they have kind of an interesting conversation from both of their perspectives on Peter and dealing with him throughout the years and what made him like he is. And then Brian winds up kind of very Spider-Man movie one, neglecting some hey, we need more testing, and he doesn't. So that kind of makes me curious if he's going to turn into some type of baddie, because that seems to be how things go. And then there was this 2-page panel thing of all the Spider-Man characters getting together, and I was annoyed as hell when I was reading this because I was just like, oh my god. In one panel, there are, let's see, 5 characters swinging in that are spider characters. And I was like, man, we need to get rid of these characters. There's too many. Like, the whole Spider-Verse thing was cute, like, once. But having 79 spider characters, all with varying degrees of the same power running around, is ridiculous. There needs to be some type of, why is it that, like, every generation of X-Men characters gets introduced and then blown up in a bus or killed by the Reavers, or the Friends of Humanity show up and wipe them out, and yet we have to have 9,000 variations of Spider-Man instead of just 1 or 2 or 3 tops? Like, that's it. There does not need to be 9,000 Spider-Men. There don't. It's annoying. It dilutes the intricacies of the characters, makes it less interesting. Anyways, I enjoyed the issue, but that page of, like, the spider people showing up, I was just like, get rid of them all. Get rid of them all. Coming next summer from Marvel Comics, Spider-Man Bloodbath. There's a character in here that could do it. Spider-Man 94 is great to me solely for writing the Moreland ship, because I did not enjoy that character in regular 616 continuity. But the story that J.M. DeMatteis put together for Spider-Man and Moreland, like the creation of Moreland in the animated universe, is super interesting, and I like it so much more than regular continuity. And this was fun because there was, spoilers, Kraven and Spider-Man team up, and I really dug that. So this has been a lot of fun. The Age of Revelation stories are over. And hey, this Wednesday, it's all done. And then maybe we can get back to writing the X-Men ship as well. And 1776, number 2. I enjoy this. The 2 issues have been fun. It's kind of, it's a fun sorcery time travel story, but what pisses me off is you see Cyclops on the cover, you see Invisible Woman on the cover. They have not been in the first 2 issues. And that is about, don't do that. That bums people out. Okay, so that was last week's comic books. I enjoyed a good chunk of them, a majority of them. I would definitely pick up Wheel of Doom. Amazing Spider-Man is good, even if there's too many Spider-Man. There's too many Spider-Man. We need to get rid of them. So now we're going to kick it over to Christmas and some fun comic book Christmas stuff that I got. Which is, I say comic book Christmas stuff like it's all going to be Christmas related. It's not Christmas related, and, I'll get into it. This one is actually Christmas related, so joke's on me. My in-laws got me this wonderful addition to our, it's a light up Daily Bugle, which I just kind of adore. Spider-Man obviously not to scale, but you kind of need to show them off. But I thought that was very cool. I was very excited about that because my wife does a very good Christmas Village upstairs, and I'm sure I'll probably keep the Daily Bugle down here. But I'm sure she wouldn't care if I was like, hey, I'm going to toss in this Spider-Man thing. And speaking of, she got me these X-Men Christmas Funko Pops, which are delightful, because I like the fact that there's stuff down here that I can kind of pack up and put up that's comic book related to make this whole room look more festive during this time of year, and then I can kind of pack them away. And that's always sort of the fun of the decorations, is like kind of like not necessarily forgetting throughout the rest of the year, but like when you do open up the box, you're like, oh man, this is great. So one of the things, so when Ashley, my wife, and I first started dating, and we were discussing, like, we'd been friends for years, so, but when we actually started dating, one of the things that we talked about in the beginning was things that we, like, missed from holidays. And one of the things that I talked about with my mother no longer being around was when I was a kid, when I first got into comics, she would, like, our stockings were kind of placed in, mine and my siblings' stockings were placed in our room, like at the foot of our bed, when we were kids. And so what I didn't realize was this was done so that when you inevitably woke up at like 2, 3 in the morning, that I wouldn't, like, you could open up that, you know, there'd be like a Lego or something in there, candy, blah, blah, blah. But this would kind of keep, you know, me and my siblings from trying to wake everybody else in the house up until a respectable time to get up and open up presents. But one of the things that she did was she would roll up, and this drives, I'm sure, she would she'd roll up like that in tissue paper and put comics in my stocking. And I loved this. And so I told Ashley about this, and I was like, oh yeah, one of the things that I missed, she used to do this thing where she would roll them up in tissue paper, and then, you know, I'd sit there and I'd, you know, Christmas morning, I would eat Rolos and read comics. And I didn't care about opening anything else until my grandparents showed up or whatever. So, ever since then, Ashley has kind of gotten a list of me of back issues or whatever that I'm looking for. And she winds up, you know, doing exactly that, which is incredibly sweet. And so it's one of the things that I look forward to the most. And this year she rolled up 2 issues of Amazing Spider-Man. I mean, The Commuter Cometh is a fantastic Peter David written Spidey story where he has to, like, take a bus and all sorts of transportation because he needs to get out to the suburbs. And you know, there's no skyscrapers for him to swing from. So that's a blast. And then I got a few issues of Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. So my lots of stuff in my Amazing collection is in Epic Collection form, and I've been trying to piece together the issues, much like I did with Fantastic Four, where, like, if I can get the issues that are in the Epic Collection, then I can turn around and either give away the Epic Collections or sell them. And the first 42 issues of Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, I have a handful of them, and I'm getting more. But I have that in omnibus format, and I do not like omnibuses. No shade against omnibuses. They're great, but they are also, like, unwieldy when you're reading them, and I tend to read you know, like, at older stuff, I tend to read sometimes, you know, before I go to sleep, and I have this problem where, like, I'll start to fall asleep and the comic book will slap me in the face, and if I do that with a omnibus, I could die. So there's that. Then everything else for me was action figure related, which is always exciting because I love action figures. So let me bust them out. Hasbro was clearly on a mission to, like, make as much loot as they could at the end of the year because there was stuff that wasn't even supposed to come out until next year that was suddenly dropping. And this was, you know, obviously, you see, there's, like, X-Men kind of villains back there, but if you know, when I do the room tour soonish, you'll see all sorts of, there's figures everywhere because I love them and I love to bring them down and play with them. Yeah, because why wouldn't you? Why would you spend all this money on freaking action figures and not play with them? In fact, I'm currently, when I was a kid with our X-Men toys, me and my best friend did, like, we had our own whole continuity, and we would, like, map it out, and it was very intricate. And when he moved away, we kind of like wrapped it up. And I've always felt like it was wrapped up unsatisfactory to me. Like I felt like it was a rush job because, like, you know, just lost my parents. I was upset. He was leaving. And so it's just kind of not a great time for me personally. And so I felt like we kind of like, oh, you know, we're older now. We shouldn't be playing with toys. We got to wrap this up. And it felt unsatisfactory to me. So I've been working on a way to course correct this, and I think I've cracked it, because I'd like to like wrap it up, and then, you know, that way when the little guy wants to start playing with all this stuff and we get to do that, it won't interfere with my continuity, because that's important to me. So I get to start fresh with the little guy. Anyways, here goes. So the first two up were finishing off teams. So Farrell from X-Force. And I was very excited about Phoenix, the Rachel Summers version. Then I loved One World Under Doom, so I was very excited about, you know, Dr. Doom, Sorcerer Supreme. My favorite Spider-Man villain is Mysterio, and so I think the colors on the animated style ones, like, I think that the brighter, more comic booky looking toys are the best. So there you have it. I don't think I have any MCU. I have one in Ashley's office, the Ant-Man, because it has a hilarious Paul Rudd face, and she loves Paul Rudd. So then these showed up after Christmas, weren't supposed to come out until March, but they had been pre-ordered. And Cardiac showed up, which I was pretty excited about, looking forward. My office is like all the Spider-Man stuff that's down here. So Spider-Man 2099, which needed an updated, awesome, and the paint looks great, and it's not like the super thin, terrible body that they had. And then the one I was most excited about out of this is Nightcrawler, dressed up like a Spider-Man from the Krakoan era. And so I don't know where am I supposed to put this one? Do I put it with the Spider-Mans, or do I put it with, it's going with the Nightcrawlers. Of course it's going with the Nightcrawlers. And so then we'll save the best for last. This is the one that Henry got me. So hang on. So the big one, the animated Sentinel. I have the HasLab one, which I like, but if I had known that they were coming out with this one, I probably would have just waited and just got a bunch of these, but I only got one. I had initially ordered one, and then I was like, oh, I should order a couple more, and I did, but then I canceled it because I was like, I can just pretend that there's more. So if you're out there, those are still up on the website, even though you were supposed to pre-order them. This thing's awesome. And then there's probably a couple because I canceled an order. So if you get one and you didn't order it in the initial pre-order wave, you get to thank me. So there's that. So I gotta find a space for that. And I still do love the HasLab one because it came with Bastion, which is a great character from my younger years that I love having a figure of. And I like the fact that I can set that one up with the Master Mold head on it because I love Master Mold. He has my second favorite line of the entire animated series, which is in the episode, it's the last episode of the first season, where he's like, I am still plugged in. I don't know why, it cracked me and my buddy up when we were kids, and it stuck with me. So obviously not a lot of comics but the ones that I did get, I really wanted, and I was happy that they were wrapped up in my stocking. And the figures were all very cool, even though I was the one that did the pre-ordering. It's just like, here you go, just wrap these, and I'll pretend that I forgot them. That's my move. So yeah, and there you have it. that is the plan. I gotta find space for all these figures and pull them off all the walls and play. Just comic book collectors out there, please tell me that and let me know in the comments. Do you still pull the figures off and play with them, or are they just plastic statues lining your comic book area, or are they still in the oh, if they're still in the package, don't tell me they're still in the package. Toy Story, when I saw it in the theaters as a kid, really did a number on me. Don't keep them in the plastic presents. Bust them out, play with them. Okay, so in a few days, it is going to be New Comic Book Day on New Year's Eve, which is exciting. So that video is going to be showing off what I pick up from the comic book store, our possibly icy and treacherous ride to the comic book shop. And then I am going to talk about my, you think I'm going to say top 10 favorite issues of the year, but it's actually going to be 12. 12, because there are 12 months in a year. So I'm going to pick an issue from every month and reminisce on what I loved about it. So there you have it. That's what's coming this week. So hope everyone had a very happy holiday, that 2025 is closing out well for you. I would appreciate anyone that felt like subscribing to the channel. Thank you to everyone who already has. It's meant a lot to me. And I will see you in a couple days with New Comic Book Wednesday. Bye.